Today we will see what deterministic finite automaton is, or in short it is called DFA. So let us begin our lecture with the concept of this finite automaton. You can see that a finite automaton, it will have a set of states and its control moves from one state to another state in response to external inputs. So here the total functioning of the machine will be depicted by some states or its movement from one state to another in getting some input. We will see in the example and the concept will be clearer then. So what it will do for a particular state, whenever it will be given some inputs, it can transit to the other state as well. Okay, and there are two classes of finite automata based on how it is transiting. Means if say we are feeding one input to a particular state, let us say if we are feeding 0 to q0, so if we can determine that okay, for 0 at q0 it is going to move to q1 only and not to any other state. So this is called determinism, right? We can determine that for this particular input this state is going to transit to this state only, not to any other states. But in case of non-deterministic finite automata, you will see for a particular combination of state and input it can transit to more than one state. So this is the difference. So if we have to depict our DFA formally or rather informally, it will be like this. Say first it is beginning with it is just reading one input tape. If we define it like this, so q0 is pointing to A at the moment, and in the next go it has been transited to q1 state and it is now pointing to B. There will be some input symbols, and based on that input it will move accordingly. And we have seen that finite automata can be classified into two different classes. One is DFA, another is NDFA or NFA, and in this lecture we are going to stick to DFA only, the first one. Okay, so if we have to represent DFA mathematically, it will be it can be depicted in using the 5 tuple notation. It is Q, capital Q, capital sigma, then small delta, Q naught, and capital F. Okay, so here the DFA, that is the machine, is being depicted with A and it is having 5 tuples. So Q is what? It is a set of states. Whatever the number of states that will be present in my machine will be under Q. Okay, sigma means what are the input symbols on which it is acting on. Okay, it can be 0, 1, it can be A, B, C, D, it can be anything, any number of, definitely finite number, but it can there can be any number of input symbols. Then small delta is a transition function. Transition function is what? We know that for an input being fed to a particular state, it is going to transit to another state, right? So this combination of one state and another input symbol will result to a new state, and this is defined under the transition function. Q naught is the start state. Remember, any machine has only one initial state. It cannot begin with more than one states. F is the set of accepting states. So there can be more than one accepting state. The design can be designing of the machine can be somewhat like that. If it can reach to one particular state, my language is being accepted. If it can move to this state, it is being accepted, and again another state, it is being accepted. So there can be any number of accepting states depending on whatever the designing we are doing, and it is defined under capital F. So let us see an example. If we are given a machine deterministic finite automata where Q is having these states A, B and C, then input symbol is 0 and 1, Q naught, that is the initial state, is A and final state is C, and transition function is being defined in this table. So you can see that we have written the input symbols in the column header, that is input 0 and another is input 1. So these are the states A, B and C. You can find in some and it is a better way to mark the initial state and the final state in the table as well. So if you have to mark the initial state in the table, you can put an arrow with A and you can just single circle C. Okay, that is the way how to represent the initial and the final state. So here on getting 0 at A, it will remain at A only. On getting 1 at A, it will move to B, and similarly for B and C, it is also being marked in the table. So let us draw the diagram, transition diagram corresponding to this transition table. So it will be somewhat like this. You can see here, here since it is a diagram, we have to encircle all the states, right? So it is the way how to depict the state. It's A, B and C, and if we have to mark this A as the initial state, you can see an arrow is associated to it, and if we have to mark C as the final state, we have to double circle it. Okay, this is the these are the methods, or these are the rules we have to follow while drawing the diagram. Okay, so on getting 0 at A, it will remain at A if we just consult the table, and the concept will be much clearer. Then on getting 1 at A, it will move to B, and similarly for B, if it gets 0, it will move to C. Right, on getting 1, it will come back to A, and for C, if it gets 0, it will come back to B, and for 1, it will remain on C only. So just consult the table and verify whether the diagram is correct or not. Okay, so now let us we will see one thing, that how to design a DFA. We have seen so far, we have seen that DFA can remember only in which state it is in now. Means whatever the present scenario is, it can remember that only. It cannot remember whatever the states it has visited so far, and what functions it is going to do in the future. It is not stored anywhere. So whatever the state it is executing on now, or whatever the input it is processing now, it can remember it only, nothing else. So if we have to design a DFA, we have to means keep on building the machine depending on some piece of information whatever we are getting now, right? And it will have finite number of states, we know that. So we will see some designing of DFA here. If we have to design a DFA where this string is accepting the languages over this set of input symbols, that is 0 and 1, and based this language is having a restriction, that is it is going to accept those strings. Means you can see here 0 1 star means it can have any number of zeros and any number of ones, but my machine is not going to accept those strings having any number of zeros and any number of ones. It is going to accept the strings where number of ones in W is congruent to 2 modulo 3. Right, so 2 modulo 3 is what? It results in 2 only. So whatever the number of strings, whatever the number of ones are there in the string, whatever we are generating, if we divide that number of ones present in that string by 3, my remainder will be 2. So the number of ones which will be accepted will be, if a string is having 2 number of, means the number of ones is 2 here, it will be accepted. If it is 5, it will be accepted, right? Then if it is 8, it will be accepted. In this fashion it is going to move on, because if we divide 2 by 3, my remainder will be 2, right? If we divide next 5 by 3, it will be 2. If we divide 8 by 3, my remainder will be 2. So you can see here, if we start from the initial state, and if without means if we are not just directly moving to the Q2, so if we start at Q0, now it is 1 is fed to it, it will move to Q1. If 1 is fed to it, then it will move to Q2. So the string generated in this pattern is 1 1 only. So the number of ones here are 2. It is being accepted because with this number of ones only, or with this string, we can directly move to the final state. Okay, so let us generate one more string. Say it is 0 1 0, right? So here the number of ones are only 1 and number of zeros are 2, but we are not restricting anything to the number of zeros. We are concentrating on number of ones only. So here the number of 1 is 1. Just see, if we get 0 1 0, so on getting 0 at Q0, it will remain at Q0. If we get 1, then it will move to Q1. Again, if we get 0, it will be at Q1. So it is not going to move to the final state, so it is not being accepted. So just keep on generating any strings. So in some strings, keep the number of ones which is satisfying this one, that is it will be congruent to 2 modulo 3, and also generate some strings where it is not satisfying this criteria, and just try to verify whether the strings where it is not satisfying the criteria, it is not being accepted, and where it is satisfying the criteria, it is being accepted, right? So if you just keep on trying, I think you will get to know it. Okay, next is W contains 0 0 as a substring. So if 0 0 is a substring, just okay, I will give you a trick. If you are asked with this kind of question that how to design a DFA, just try to just begin with the smallest possible string possible. So if we concentrate in this example only, what is the smallest string possible? It is 0 0, right? So any W containing 0 0 as substring, the lowest possible string or the smallest possible string is 0 0. So we will just initiate that machine, and we'll using 0 0 we will move to the final state, then we will adjust accordingly. Okay, so there can be any number of ones. We have marked ones accordingly. Now you can see one new thing here. Q2, the transition in Q2 is marked with sigma. Instead of sigma, you can write 0 comma 1 as well. The meaning is same. Why 0 comma 1? Because here we are working with two different input symbols only. There are no more input symbols are present. So the set of sigma can contain only 0 and 1. So writing sigma or writing 0 comma 1 means same. We'll see one more example. Here it is doing what? Again, the set of symbols is on 0 and 1, and it is accepting those string with starts with 1 and ends with 0. So in our previous slide, what we have learned the trick. What was the trick? So if we have to design DFA, we will start with the smallest possible string. So any string which is beginning with or starting with 1 and ending with 0 is 1 0. So what we will do? We will start with Q0, we will directly move to Q1 with 1, and we will move to the final state with 0. So 1 0, so possible string 1 0 is done. Now we will keep on adjusting, because if it starts with 1 and ends with 0, there can be any number of ones in between. So we have self loop Q1 with 1, and on getting 1 at Q2, it can come back to Q1 as well, and means it will definitely there can be any number of zeros and ones in between, and it can end with 0. So Q2 will keep on looping on 0. One more thing here, you can see there is no transition marked for Q0 having input 0. So here a concept of date state is there. You can just incorporate one new state, say let us say Q3, and just point, or rather just transit from Q0 to Q3 with 0 input, and there will be no chance for Q3 to move anywhere else. Means that is the date state. If we reach to Q3, we are not able to move anywhere else. So that is the term, that's why the term is date state, means from where no more movement is possible. So this is another approach of designing DFA, and since in case of DFA we can determine everything, so it is better to incorporate the concept of date state as well. So if we can incorporate Q3 here, and just for the 0 transition at Q0 we can move to the date state. Okay. One more example. Here it is going to accept only the input 1 0 1. So it is very easy to understand, and again you can incorporate one state called date state. You can mark it as Q4 or any other thing other than Q0, Q1, Q2 and Q3. And since we have not marked the transition for Q0 at Q0, 1 at Q1, 0 at Q2, and for both zeros and ones at Q3, you can mark all the whatever the unmarked inputs are or unmarked transitions are, you can move those transitions to date state. Next example, it is going to accept even number of zeros and even number of ones. So what is the smallest even number? That is 0. So the string can be null string as well. The generated string can be null state. It is consisting of no number of zeros and no number of ones. That's why you can see here the initial state and the final state are same, because the null string it can be accepted here. There can be 0 number of zeros and 0 number of ones. Okay. Next possible thing is two zeros and two ones possible. So you can see here, if it get two zeros, so it will move to q1. From q0 it will move to q1, again come back to q0. Okay, and even number of ones, so if it get 1 at q0, it will move to q3 and come back to q0 as well. But if you just keep on combining odd number of 0 and odd number of 1, see the string is 0 1, odd number of 0, that is 1 0 and 1 1. So on getting 0 it will move to q1, and on getting 1 it will move to q2. It is not a final state, so it is not, it is being rejected, not being accepted. So in this fashion you can keep on trying with whatever the strings you are having. Okay, now this example is saying that this it can accept the set of all strings with 3 consecutive zeros, right? So just keep on trying. Here 3 consecutive zeros, what is the smallest string possible? 0 0 0. So it will begin from q0, and on getting 3 consecutive zeros it will move to the final state. And just now keep on combining other choices. Just keep on means just generate some strings with 3 consecutive zeros, and generate some strings with having no 3 consecutive zeros, and just play with this transition diagram. It will be clearer. Okay, the last example we are going to focus on today is this one, that is it is going to W is a string that does not contain consecutive ones. So if this kind of question is asked, that where W is not going to contain consecutive ones, so firstly what we are going to do, we will design a diagram, okay, where it will have consecutive ones. So see the first transition diagram, it is beginning with q0 and having 3 consecutive ones. Okay, you have to mark q3 as final state here, and the easiest way to just here, since it is asking for to draw the diagram where it is not consisting of consecutive ones, so what we will do, firstly we will draw the machine having means which are accepting the machine with, or the string with consecutive ones, and we will just complement it. So I told you to mark q3 as the final state in the first diagram. So if q3 is the final state in the first diagram, so if we complement it, we will mark q3 as a non-final state, and in the previous diagram, since q0, q1 and q2 were non-final states, so in my new diagram they will act as the final state. Okay, so you can just check with the second diagram whether it is accepting, or whether it is working correctly or not. So you have to practice more, and in the next class we will focus on the next topic, that is non-deterministic finite automata. Thank you.